Okay, this is great, so much better than class. I hope so, all of you. If this isn't better than class, then your classes are pretty rad. Okay, so now what we're asking for is if you would like to do a couple of minutes on what you learned today, what your takeaway was. Antonio's leaving to another planet, AKA parenting.
This is a quick playback, part of design thinking. So it's 30 to 60 seconds. So if you feel comfortable, you're amongst friends, please share and take the mic.
In the breakouts, we talked about how this is a recognized challenge, and we pivoted on the positive aspects of that. As companies are recognizing that this is a challenge and they're expanding their outreach to more diverse populations, they're going to learn a lot more than just providing, insight into AI and reducing bias there. But as more people connect to more diverse communities around the world, I think that's just going to enrich tech in general, and we're going to have unintended, very positive consequences from that.
Yay! Somebody else want to give a 15-second? Today, I learned that Deborah's going to share her cocktails.
I can add here quickly.
Thank you.
So I think one of my takeaways was that technology is not the panacea. The process leads the way. And if you get the process right, then, you can pretty much fix what rides on it.
Brilliant.
I love process
Agreed.
almost as much as I love inventory. Who's next?
I learned that Deborah and Sheri are both equally as good dancers as I expected. And I won't say if that was good or bad.
I'm a good dancer, please.
Oh, I said as good as I expected, Sheri.
I've always wanted to be invited to the party.
He didn't say good. He said we hit his expectations.
For today, for my first time, it was great, but I'm sharing my experience and learning about your experience, so it was great.
Thank you, Jorge.
And
we were in a
supply chain
breakout
professionals
together.
of the future. Woohoo!
Awesome.
What I learned today is that if I move my drink and with my screen, it disappears. It's actually pretty cool. Look at that. It's like a magician.
Nice.
But you can see my hand, but not my glass. So that's what I learned. But I learned a lot, I met a lot of very interesting people in the breakout groups today. And I think I shared that with Deborah before, that I always work for small companies. So I don't meet a lot of supply chain people in my life, like in my workplace. So it's great to meet with people that understand the same struggle that I have every day, or like they understand the same point of view or the same way of thinking, which is very exciting. So it's really fun to hang out with you guys, and there are some positive things of a current situation that I'm not gonna name. So it's great. I started writing a little notebook this morning, and I was like, what did I do in last 3 weeks that I haven't done before? And this is one of the things. So thank you all. It's very exciting to meet you all.
Yay!
Cool. Thanks, Alicia. That's perfect.
Thank you.
I'd love to say something as well. First of all, thank you. Is Yuri still on here? I don't know if I see him. But thank you, Yuri and Gerald, for being here and kind of being the guest speakers today. I love what we heard about the sense and respond. My biggest last project was all about getting the right forecast and making sure it was exact as possible. But as Gerald mentioned, that's just a guess. So I love that idea of sense and respond. And I love what Abhinav just said about making sure that you're focused on the process. And also we talked a lot in our breakout rooms about the people and good communication and how that goes hand in hand with the tool of technology. So thank you, Sheri and Deborah, for all you do. This is awesome. It's great to talk with all of you guys.
Woo! Standing ovation from Sheri. That's what that was.
All right, I'll go now. I was able to successfully escape. So I have been a regular here, and I've been learning in every session. Today, thank you, Gerald, Yuri, and I got a chance to be in breakout rooms with both of them, and we discussed about how people, actually I learned how I could, influence people to come together to adapt tech and how it is so important. And Gerald, thank you for SCRP, and I thank you for actually innovating that name. I'm looking forward to learning more. Sheri, I have no idea about AI, so I am so more interested in all the more sessions that you're going to do on AI. Actually, influencing how, people are influencing data sets, and I learned more. Gerald added more information to to my brain in the breakout room. So thank you. It's been great being here. Thank you all. Deb, Sheri, you're doing awesome, especially during this lockdown phases. This is my only way to meet great supply chainers. So thank you.
Yay!
I love you.
So fun.
Love you guys.
Hey guys, I just want to add one line to Sneha. So I'm very thankful to Sheri and Deborah. So I'm recently moved to Seattle and I'm learning about supply chain and how blending of circular economy and supply chain is happening here. So I'm so looking forward to you sessions as well.
Awesome. We didn't put circular, Deborah, on the list, but that we can include that and weave it into the inventory discussion.
Yes.
That should be like half of it.
I can weave in supply chain. I mean, I can weave in inventory and circular to any discussion. So we're covered on that.
But today what I have learned is the optimization, how we can optimize and how we can include the disaster management and the quick emergency responses that a company has to take in these tough times so that they can improvise their supply chain as much as possible using AI. I do not have much knowledge about it, so I'm looking forward to sessions that will be hosted by Sheri, but yes, as tech.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Is that it?
There's one more.
Yeah,
Eddie wants to go.
I'll add something in. I learned a lot today, and I want to say thank you first and foremost. But I hadn't really thought about there being bias in AI, and as Sheri was saying in our breakout, like what is right? So who's right? What concepts are right? And so yeah, I'm just looking forward to more of that AI and there being all this bias. I mean, Sheri was also mentioning like somebody's not purposely behind a keyboard trying to put all this bias in, but it's a lot of it is subconscious, and every one of us has some type of bias. And so really looking forward to learning more about that. So thank you.
Awesome,
Cool.
Eddie. That's perfect.
Thank you, Eddie.
I think one of my big takeaways from today was kind of just having concrete evidence for why we won't lose our jobs to robots or technology, because there are so many points where people touch that, whether it's process, whether it's bias, whether it's just the technology won't fix it, which was, Yuri's topic. We really have to learn to embrace technology and understand how to blend it into our current business and realize that it's not a replacement. If something is broken, it's still going to be broken when technology is there. And if we want to use technology to improve, that's great, but it's not a solution for the problem. It's a complement to the solution for the problem.
Brilliantly spoken.
And DC gets top marks for the color of your headpiece against the back of the beach.
I'm basically on
like
vacation.
The banana woman. You're like, hey, and you're like, I've got to come meet me at the beach. Thanks, Justin. Anybody else want to share? These are really fun, by the way. Thanks for doing these.
No, it was interesting hearing everybody's perspective on everything. I've been in space for about a year and a half, and I've learned a lot, and I'm really here just to learn. So I hear what everybody else talks about. Like, I thought one of the cool things about AI we talked about was, you guys talk about a lot of human capital terms, but we apply AI in our solution, and no one's going to level a discrimination lawsuit on us for what we do. However, bias can creep into AI just the same, dealing with carriers and products stuff, just the same way we can anywhere else. So the outcomes are going to be just different. So anyways, that was kind of cool part about some of the sessions I was in, but I don't really necessarily have any really big takeaways.
I think that's a takeaway. And just so you know, Corey, I build industrial software for a living, like bringing AI to industry. So I'm right there with you. Our AI is on big industrial equipment. But I still think it's important to recognize the places where bias at all could fit in. And the session that we'll talk about next time around the decisions that your team makes on how the architecture is built can hurt or not hurt the planet. So if we make poor choices in the software we build, the carbon footprint is impressively bad.
True.
So there's a whole world out there, but just know that there's other software folks on the phone with you.
Awesome.
I don't claim software. I claim that the future of work is human.
Is this an accent, Sheri? Are you doing an accent right now?
I just felt like it. I just felt like it just was a natural thing. Did you get everyone? I sent Deborah a video last night where I pretended to have a British accent.
I want to just show you just the
Just show them the
Snapchat
filter.
so at least that you guys can see it, because it's
We
so
randomly
funny.
text each other like midnight. I'll be like, "Hey."
Let me see if you guys can see. That's Sheri. If I just play it, you won't be able to hear it, but then you could see her. And she's basically saying, hello, did you know this fact is true in life? Look at my mustache. That's basically what she's saying.
Dr. Watson.
All the British people on the call are offended.
Are there any British people on the call?
All right, let's wrap it up, my
All right,
friend.
you guys, thank you so much for doing this. We had such a good time with you today. You will see yourself on social media soon.